How's it going, guys? I was asked by a YouTuber in one of the comments on my videos if I'd had any experience with Rockburn guitars. The reason he asked this was that he nearly ended up with a Rockburn Strat as his first. Now, I can't say anything about the Strat models because I've not tried them myself, but I did pick up a Rockburn Les Paul shape for £40 at a local guitar shop. It had come in with a load of other stuff from a collector, and the collector had just said, sell that one too, don't want it. So I happened to be there when the delivery came, so snatched it up. Plays pretty solidly, I'll be honest. Seemed to be well set up, like when I got it. I'm not sure if he'd had it professionally set up or whether it just, it just looked out of the box. Strings needed changing, that was about it. Not a dent on it, so 40 quid seemed like a pretty good price, because I was just going to use it as a project for something anyway, and that's exactly what I did. I started out trying to do a vinyl wrap on it, and it didn't turn out too good. Didn't use good enough vinyl, basically, so in the end I decided to spray it, and I've had a lot of hit and miss luck with acrylic based spray paints, and it takes so long to get it right, and I didn't really want to spend that much time on a £40 guitar, so I thought I'll approach it from a different direction. I'll try enamel. So got myself a tin of white enamel. Bear in mind this was a black Les Paul when I started. In fact, it looked like that, and I decided I wasn't going to spray the whole thing because I quite liked the binding on it, and I wanted something that was a two-tone guitar, so I just sprayed the front white. And the reason for this was that around that time Harold Ramis had just died, and growing up I was a huge fan of Ghostbusters, so I figured I'd do a Ghostbusters tribute guitar, and that's how it's turned out. I'm pretty happy with it, to be honest. The enamel was a really good idea in the end. I've used it on a couple of guitars since. No lacquer on it, just really light dust coats on it all the way, and it's come out as a really, really sort of odd satin feel. I've not seen a guitar with this finish. Some might call it unprofessional, but it's not orange peeled at all. It's really smooth, but just textured. I really like it. One of the first things you'll notice is the scratch plate. It's the original scratch plate off the Rockburn, but I've cut a chevron into it to make it look more like the tail fin from the Ecto one, which is the car from Ghostbusters. And I've sort of half-arsed fabricated a tail light onto it, which does actually have a working red LED in it. The pickups themselves, brilliant, can't fault them. Dead gritty, dead bitey, quite hot considering how cheap the guitars are, like even when they're new. And also behind these pickups I've installed some blue flashing LEDs to mimic the lights on top of the Ecto one. The binding is still there, the cream, but I've added a red strip of adhesive tape. Trying to think what it's called, can't remember. I'll probably have said it in some form of writing across the bottom by now. Not great, it keeps sort of coming up. You've got to be really careful when you're using it, especially when you get into these sort of areas, because it tends to shrink a bit with age, so you end up with a bit not stuck to the body and just bridging across. But that's the only problem I've had with it. I'd probably, if I can be arsed, I'll do a better job with it another time with some better tape. The headstock itself is white with a red vinyl wrap on the truss rod cover. It's the original machine heads, nothing special. They stay in tune alright, but if you were buying one of these and wanted to use it a lot, I'd probably consider getting, a 20 quid set. that would probably be a little bit better than these ones, but they're alright for what they are. The knobs are smaller than I'd normally use. They're actually, I got these to mimic the knobs that they have on the Proton packs. Not too sure about them. Might do odd knobs instead of having them all matching. That might sort of change things up a bit. Ghostbusters logo on the side there. Ghostbusters logo on the front. And the final decal is the Ecto-1 number plate. So that's it for the modifications. The guitar itself is actually surprisingly good. The neck plays nice. The frets do sort of, you can feel them grind a little bit as you when you're doing bends and things like that, but the guitar cost me 40 quid, so I'm not expecting them to be made of, you know, titanium or anything. And like I say, the pickups were the surprising part. There's a lot of bite to them. So I was going to swap them out, but now I'm just going to keep them. Even if I get rid of this guitar, I'll probably throw some cheap, nasty pickups in and keep these pickups. But I can't see myself getting rid of this guitar anytime soon. It's a nice talking piece. When people walk into my guitar room, it's usually one of the first ones they see, so it's a conversation starter for sure. The hardest part was probably wiring up the looms for the lights, mainly because I had to cut sort of rigs out of plastic to wire them to, so that they weren't just floating about in there. And then everything's going to the cavity for the batteries. The switch is actually built into the pickup ring. Not sure if I'm going to change the pickup rings. I'm still sort of undecided about the cream, but they do go with the binding on the rest of the guitar, so that's the reason that I've not swapped them out yet. Yeah, I'm really happy with this guitar, especially for what I paid. I've seen a lot of them on eBay. I've seen a lot of them with a nice sort of silver burst finish. So if you spot one, you could do worse if you know, whether it's your first guitar or whether you're just after a spare, just for dicking around on. I recommend it. So as usual, let's see how it sounds.